I ain't never seen anything like that.
Ever?
No, sir. Great White has no natural enemy.
Well, he does now. The only thing missing from this story is a mad scientist.
It's alive! It's alive! Hello out there, social media lands and all other social media platforms. Welcome to an all-new movie review. So in this movie review, we're going to be talking about an awesome horror comedy film that came out in 2018 and was pretty decent and really amazing too as well, because I was really shocked at how fun it was, even though it was so corny and just really like one of those classic type of B movies. But we're going to be talking about that. But before we get into that horror film that I'm going to be talking about, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, people, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss out on any of the reviews I do or any of the cool videos I put out. And as always, people, let's get right into this. Welcome, YouTubers and all other social media lands. Welcome to an all-new movie review. So like I was saying before, in this movie review, we're going to be talking about a horror comedy film that came out in 2018, and that is one of those B classic type of movies that are just funny, hilarious, lots of gore, usually are pretty, basic and, really bad CGI work and stuff like that. But this one actually wasn't too bad in the CGI world, and even the graphics of, like, the animatronic creatures that they created for this film weren't too bad either. But of course the film that I'm talking about is a film called Sharkenstein. Oh yeah, Sharkenstein. So Sharkenstein, oh my goodness, this movie is absolutely hilarious. Like I said, before, it's actually a pretty decent film, and is one of those classic type of B horror type of films. But basically, think about it, Sharkenstein, it's basically Frankenstein with a shark. Interesting. Well, this film actually was directed none other by a gentleman that goes by the name Mark Polonia. Oh yeah, Mark Polonia. Oh yeah. So Mark Polonia is actually half the duo of the Polonia brothers, but unfortunately his brother passed away at the ripe age of 39 suddenly back in 2008. But he has pretty much done over 40 different feature films along with his brother, and to this day he's even done several after his brother's untimely death. But they have basically made some of the most iconic horror films a lot of people have seen and watched. And unfortunately, I actually haven't seen any of them. But until I saw this one, so now I'm definitely going to have to check those other ones out. But still, they have actually created some pretty highly ranking type of B classic horror films that a lot of people enjoy. So a couple of those films, and like I said, I haven't seen either of these, but I did watch the trailer for both of them, and they look really fun. So the first film I'm going to talk about is a film that came out in 1986 called Splatter Farm. Oh yeah, Splatter Farm, which is actually a long-running series as I was researching. And actually there's been several of these films, but basically it's kind of like the same kind of premise as like Friday the 13th and so forth and stuff like that. It's basically, out in the wilderness, there's a psycho trying to kill all these people, etc., etc. But from the trailer, like I said, it looked really fun, and it looked like it had some pretty good gore factor and a lot of great, just like, iconic B classic type of B movie type of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to checking it out eventually. But yeah, Mark Polonia directed that one too. But he also directed another film that is also another bunch of series of films, kind of along the lines of Friday the 13th as well, called Camp Blood, The First Slaughter. Oh yeah, Camp Blood, The First Slaughter. Now this movie kind of totally makes me think of that film Final Girls. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. But it basically makes me think of that film. It's like that same kind of genre type of idea. And that's what, this Camp Blood film is kind of like. And it's along the same lines as like Friday the 13th, kind of ripping it off a little bit. Once again, just like the first one I was talking about. But from the trailer, this one actually looks a little bit even more fun than the other film. And this one also looks like it might have a little more of like a different type of story to it too as well. So I'm looking forward to checking that out too. But those are two films that he's really well known for being a director of and creating these awesome series. Now, when it comes to Sharkenstein, I thought that he did a really fun job. Like I said, I thought he gave us this great classic B type of movie with some decent CGI and acting and definitely, funny like animatronic, puppetry, claymation, whatever they used. That was absolutely hilarious. But even the gore factor in it was pretty decent too, and just all around a really fun B classic type of film. If you haven't seen any of Mr. Mark Poloni's stuff, definitely check it out. He's a pretty decent director. So that brings me to the cast of this film. Now, the cast of this film isn't super huge. It was pretty much like 4 people, but 2 of them really are the main characters in the whole film, and those are the ones I'm going to be talking about today. So to start us off is the main heroine herself that survives everything, is Miss Greta Volkova. Oh yeah, Greta Volkova. Now this is a very unique looking actress. She's very interesting. You can't help but take your eyes off of her during the film. And even though her acting isn't the greatest, she still has something about her, a charisma that you just can't help but want to watch her act. Now, a couple of films she's been in that were also Mark Poloni films as well, and Ron Bonk from the House Shark film film that I was talking about earlier in a previous movie review. She pretty much has been in the same genre to herself. She's done a lot of these direct-to-video type of horror films, and has been in quite a few of them. But a couple of them that looked interesting to me, but I haven't seen, are a couple that follow. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called It Kills, which is a Camp Blood 7 film. Oh yeah. So Camp Blood 7. Interesting. It Kills. So once again, this is another one of those Camp Blood films that's about this like murderous clown type of character in a mask that going around killing campers and stuff like that. And she plays one of the main characters in the film. I think one of the counselors, I believe. And from what I saw in the trailer, it looks like she does even a better job than she did in Sharkenstein. Like, I feel she had a little more of a chemistry for that film. And I'm really interested in checking that out to see what she actually does with that film. So, it looks really interesting. Now, that brings me to the second film she was in that is another one of those B type of classic horror type of films. Now, this one, once again, the premise of it is an interesting premise. It's on one of those great horror type of classic films, B-movie type. And this one is called Bigfoot Vs Zombies. Oh yeah, Bigfoot Vs Zombies. Oh my gosh. That name alone is hilarious and makes you want to watch it. I mean, really? Zombies and Bigfoots going at it, like, versus each other? Oh my god, that's like hilarious. That's like watching Sharktopus versus Terracuda, or Sharktopus versus Whalewolf. Oh my gosh, that's just like super hilarious. And watching the trailer, the makeup effects and all that kind of stuff in the film were so horrible, but at the same time, I couldn't take my eyes away from the trailer. And so I'm really looking forward to checking that out and seeing what she does with this film too as well, and her acting credits to that. But like I was saying with Sharkenstein, she was very kind of flat throughout the whole film. It wasn't the most greatest acting, but at the same time, like I said, she has such a charisma about her. You couldn't take your eyes off her and didn't want to, veer away and not watch the film. So I still think she has something there, and just something that she needs to work on as she goes along, and I feel like as I see more of her films, maybe I'll see that. But for my opinion, in her acting in this, I just thought it was very flat, the whole thing. But still, not too bad of an actress. And I was actually pleased with her performance and thought she was kind of fun in the film. So that brings me to the second and final actor I like to be talking about in this film. And that, of course, is a character actor that has been in a ton of these horror films as well. A character actor named Ken Van Sant. Oh yeah! Ken Van Sant, hands down, was the best actor in this film. I really enjoyed him. He kind of reminded me of the Tiger King a little bit. His look and everything, which is funny, but he still is a really pretty decent actor for being in these horror films, and his delivery of his lines, I feel, were the best in the whole film. Now, when it comes to this actor, too, like I said, he's been in a ton of these other horror films. And once again, I haven't seen any of his other films, but 2 of them that looked really interesting and I watched trailers for, just really caught my eye, were a couple as follows. So, the first one is a film called Queen Crab. Oh yeah, Queen Crab, which is basically about a giant crab that's menacing, this town. And oh my gosh, the trailer just makes you laugh the whole time you're watching it. But at the same time, it still looks like it might be very entertaining and can look pretty interesting and fun in the trailer too as well. I just felt that in the trailer, he looked like he delivered some pretty good lines. He looked like he gave some really good effort at the role and just made it, an entertaining and a film that you could be able to watch. And, like I said, with a lot of these B-horror classic films, a lot of people are going to be like, I can't get through it, I think it's horrible, I think it's crap. But if you're a fan of these B-type of horror classics, you're going to love it. So that's what I'm getting the vibe from that Queen Crab film and Ken Van Sant's acting in it. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Now, the second film that he was in that is another one that I watched the trailer for, and it looked kind of awesome, actually. It kind of looked really, like, gory, action-packed, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out eventually, too. But that film is called Jurassic Prey. Oh, yeah, Jurassic Prey. Yeah. So this one basically is about, a Tyrannosaurus Rex coming back to life and, terrorizing a city and town. And Ken Van Sant is one of the characters that has to stop the, creature. And this just looks like really well done. I mean, the CGI work and from what I saw in the trailer and the acting looked like it was pretty decent, along the lines of Sharkenstein, and even as good as, like, say, a really Hollywood classic type of horror film. And I was, like, actually really surprised by the trailer. So definitely something I'll be checking out and seeing what Ken Van Sant brings to that film too as well. But definitely check out the trailer for this film. It looks really good. It looks kind of fun. You might enjoy it. But when it comes to his performance, like I said, in Sharkenstein, I just thought hands down he was the best part of the film. Best acting, best lines, and just really it made it enjoyable and made me want to continue watching the film. Really, hands down, a great performance by Ken Van Sant. And I think he has some really good acting talent as well. So if you're not familiar with what Sharkenstein is about, basically the premise of the film is the movie starts off during the 1940s, towards the end of World War II, and Nazis have been experimenting with the Frankenstein monster's brain and, like, DNA and stuff like that to basically create a race of, like, sharks that would be the end of the human race and would take over the world, basically. And so the experiments are stopped and everything, but 60 years later there's this German guy that still believes in it and is working with several parts of different sharks that he created and put together and puts the Frankenstein's brain into to use it to basically try to take over the world again. And it's up to the main three heroes, or main two heroes really, to stop him and to destroy Sharkenstein. So, I mean, it's super hilarious looking. The Sharkenstein itself is absolutely hilarious looking. You can definitely tell it's like a puppet or a robot or something, maybe even claymation. But still, the gore factor, the premise of the film is really fun and entertaining, but the CGI work in the film was really well done, and the camera work too. So, it's definitely something worth the watch, and definitely, hands down, a decent film. I give it 7 Golden Movie Boxes up on this one. It's definitely a decent film, and definitely will be checking it out again eventually. But if you haven't seen it, definitely give the trailer a watch or check it out. It's on Tubi for free, people, to watch. So, yeah, download the Tubi app. It's worth it. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, and also thank you for subscribing. And if it's your first time here, don't forget to hit those awesome links down below for awesomeness, especially if you're a huge fan of my channel and want to support it. Check out my Patreon, people. It's an awesome Patreon. I give all kinds of cool stuff exclusive to what my next projects are. Bloopers. You get to say what you'd like to see next in a video and all that kind of stuff. And also my merchandise is there too as well, from shirts to hats, anything you think of too as well. So definitely check that out, people. And also, don't forget about the awesome Horror Pack, people, especially because, October's coming up soon. Horror Pack, what better way to celebrate October is get a cool mystery box of horror films, either in Blu-ray or DVD format. So that's something that interests you. Check out that link down below, which also gets you a discount on your first month if you're a new-time subscriber. That's right, people. Discount. And as always, people, catch you in the next one.